this is exciting because to me, advanced marketing strategies is all about getting you guys more revenue, more income, and everybody's looking for that. So glad to have you today. If you're a first-timer, just to let you know, you are muted right now. And the way that you will pose questions and give feedback is in your Q&A area. If you can't see that, there's possibly a little orange arrow at the top of your screen, and that should allow you room to your Q&A. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. I hope everybody's got pen and pencil ready to go, and we're going to have an exciting morning here. All right. So welcome back and applause for getting here. And I know some of you are new to the call, so we are going to do a little review. But we said last time that the customer has changed, how the customer buys has changed. We all know that because some of the tried and true tactics aren't working, and that you've got to get some new strategies and tactics. And I'm excited to go through some of what's working, what isn't, and enlighten you. And of course, we all want to do this without spending a small fortune because none of us right now in this economy has money to throw away. At least I don't think any of you do on the line. So our goal is to create more profitable revenue for you. That's the whole objective of this course. And for those of you that are new, what we're aiming for here for you to expect is you're going to have faster and more sales, better margins on the sales, new markets where you can go out and get them more easily. By the time we get to session 3, which will be next month, you're going to be creating a really concise one-page 12-month plan. I love that. I am into simple, and I think you ought to be able to see it. And then, of course, we want some high marketing ROI. So this is our sessions. We started last time with session 1, Foundation and Strategy. I'm going to do a quick review and some check-in on that. Session 2, obviously, today we're going to get into tactics, which some of you are already asking me some tactics already, so that will be interesting, I think, for everybody. And then, of course, next time we already talked about. All right, so today, quick review of some of the foundations, some tactics, and then into the ROI tracking. So if you remember from session 1, we said that there were really 2 main foundations that we had to build on, and hopefully you didn't skip this step. You needed clarity on your best targets, and you need to start thinking like that person. And we spent a lot of time talking about how people are different, our buyers are different, they have different mentalities, and so we have to really pay attention to that. So that was what I called the key to faster sales and more sales at higher margins, and that begins with targeting the right prospects. And for those of you in retail, and we'll talk about that a little, you know, you've almost been, I would call it brainwashed to think that you know, everybody is your target, but the fact of the matter is not everybody's your target. Some people are more profitable to you than others. In wholesale, you really get it. In retail, I found that with retail people, I had to spend a little bit more time to kind of get you on track, but on track you got, and that was good. So kudos, first off, to the companies that raised their hand for help on clearly defining the best target, because some of you are still kind of swimming around in that. I did several conference calls to help you just kind of get your arms around it. I remember one fellow just said, oh my gosh, this is so simple. It's just like asking the right questions. And it is absolutely, that is what it's about, you know. So yes, that was the problem. So let me just start us off with some actuals of some folks that I helped so that you can kind of see where this went. So I'm going to start with the retailer, okay? And again, I think for a lot of you on the retail, this might be the toughest piece for you to really drill down to. Now, one guy told me it was easy because he has loyalty cards already set up, and he is capturing a lot of data. But for those of you that aren't there yet, that was tougher. So we drilled down to precise demographics by store location and time of day. So here's 2 examples. The first one is a company that needs to drill down further. But they found it was a mid-50s traveling salesman, and the time of buying was between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Another company, blue-collar Hispanic male, age 20s, I guess, and they were actually getting that demographic at 2 different times, 6 to 8 a.m. and 3 to 6 p.m. So there's some of your retail examples. By the way, some companies that have really done strong work in this, they will actually name that customer just by a first name. So, for instance, the mid-50s traveling salesman, you might call him Joe. What would Joe think about if he saw this ad or he saw this marketing or whatever it is? So you want to kind of personalize this down to the individual. All right, worked with a wholesaler, and we came to agreement. They were working on building their dealer business. Pretty much it was a new American dealer. With a family large enough to run 3 to 4 stores, because they found that the guys that are just doing one are taking up a lot of their time and energy. But when you had a dealer who, through his extended family, ended up running 3 or 4 stores, it became very efficient. 60,000 K or more in fuel at the locations, the prospects, and we're already working through EFT. We're familiar with that. And that can be tightened up more, but that was a start. Okay. More examples. Let me give you from the propane side. Worked with a company that wanted to drill down into their propane. They feel that's their most profitable area of growth. They're new into propane. Identified a female homeowner. Not that she's a single homeowner. She's married, but she's the one making the decision, so kind of this name Judy comes to mind. We got to market to Judy. Drilled it down into certain counties. It was an older home. I challenged the guy to define that a little bit more, because that could be really good demographic data that's easy to get to for lists. 2,500 plus square foot. Again, we did the preliminary work. He's going to tighten this up. Family of 4 plus, for the propane usage, and 3 or more gas appliances. And then provided him with some list brokers that he could go and actually drill down and get the list for these people, because he was already starting to work on tactics. Lubes, worked with a lubes guy, and they drilled it down into, specifically, it was a plant manager. It was within a specific industry that I won't disclose, but they had a high need for specialty high-margin products that were for critical functions. In other words, if they don't have that lubricant, they're out of business, so it was really, really important to them. The ideal target wants autofill. In other words, they don't want that guy calling to order. They want to be able to manage that whole thing for them. This ideal plant manager should actually prefer a 30-day EFT. That's what he wants. So that was a good, clear definition. And their C customer, by the way, ended up being auto dealers, which they had thought were their, A customer before. And as they looked at credit risk and decline in that industry, they realized that that had actually gone from an A to a C for them. So kudos to you guys for getting this done. All right, so now I'm going to start out with a poll to see kind of where you are on this, and it's just a, did you clarify your target customer? And I'm going to launch just 3 choices for you. Yes, we have it fine-tuned, or there somewhat, but we're still in the process, or we haven't started yet. So let's just see where everybody's at. We've got a pretty good crowd. Again, you should be at your own computer. If you're at a conference table, this is tougher, but I'd like to see where everybody is on their fine-tuning. We've got about 70%. I can tell the guys that I worked with. Okay, good. Again, let's see more voting coming in and see where everybody's at. We're only about 80% voting. Let me just give you 5 more seconds. And it is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm closing the poll, and I'm going to share those results with you. And 9% of you said yes. It's probably some of the people that I worked with, although I think some of you are still fine-tuning. 83% of you are started and still working on it, and 9% of you haven't started yet. Now, on the 9% that haven't started, do not go to tactics until you do this. This is the most powerful piece of what you need to do, as we're going to see. So, okay, we'll just hide that one. And so that's where we are. So most of you are in process.